Earlier this season, there was a conversation in the GM's office that went something like this. Hey, boss, I found this prospect. He's like 6'7" and 198 pounds. Look, Tony, it's great measurements and all, but we've already got a small forward. We don't need another. No, he's not a small forward. He's a point guard. He's a point guard? Let's talk about Anthony Black. If you're looking for a player with elite size at his position, strong defensive skills, and a player built for the modern NBA with nearly unlimited potential, let me introduce you to Anthony Black. Hi, it's David from Hoop South, where I'm bringing you another SEC draft profile. We're going down the list of ESPN's best available list for this year's draft, and we're taking a look at these SEC players and their strengths and improvement areas that they need to be working on. Please, as always, like and subscribe to the channel if you want to catch more scouting reports like this one. And also, sorry about the grainy video on my end of this week. I know it kind of looks rough, but I'm on the road on a business trip and I don't have my normal lighting equipment with me. But I still wanted to get this scouting report out there for you guys. So let's take a look at Anthony Black. This year, the Arkansas freshman averaged just under 13 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, and nearly 4 assists, and shot 45.3% from the floor. High areas there. He's also a decent free throw shooter at 70.5%, but the one area of absolute concern has to be his three-point shooting, which sits around 30%, but we'll get more into that in just a little bit. So what does Anthony Black do well? The first thing when you watch his game is his playmaking. He's aware of his options and can make extra passes. He has vision and he can understand a play right in the middle of it, even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. He goes at his own pace, and he's one of the best passers in this class. Additionally, one of the things AB is really good at is that he has a huge driving upside. He can get through contact, and as well, he has great handle, and his shot with his right hand is absolutely great. You're likely to get more driving lanes in the NBA than he got at Arkansas with all of the injuries that limited the floor spacing this season for the Razorbacks. So I think it's a great opportunity for him to have a team that has a better three-point shooting percentage in the NBA, and he's going to be a point guard that can drive his way right to the rim. Another thing that Anthony Black does really well is that he has impressive rebounding for a guard, and he cuts like a wing, which is something that you just don't see. His elite size gives him an advantage against most of the guys that are sitting there trying to defend him, and then he sees the lane and can excel to the basket. Now, one of the things that probably stands out to you the most when it comes to Anthony Black is his defensive skills. He's one of the best defenders at the position in this class as a point guard. And additionally, he can match up with 3 different positions on the floor, and he has a great feel for rotation. I'm not going to say that this is a perfect stat for him. He does have some issues navigating screens at times, but he has an elite ability to jump the ball, steal the ball, and explode toward the basket and turning instant defense into offense. It's one of his best attributes that he's going to have carrying over to the NBA. So with those strengths out of the way, where does Anthony Black need to improve his game coming into this year's draft? Well, let's start with the obvious. There is some weakness at the three-point spot, especially for a point guard. His three-point shooting is not what you would expect. He shot 30.1%, and I think it's mainly a mechanics issue that can be corrected. Anthony Black kind of brings the ball a little bit lower than most other guards that you see who bring it higher shooting from the three-point. It's just one of those things that I think can be corrected as he progresses throughout his time in practice and building toward his career, but was one of those things that you didn't necessarily want to fix immediately in college. You may have wanted to fix it in college, but rather you didn't have the time to fix it in college. Something else I've noticed with Anthony Black is that he needs to find a little inner Tony Parker, if you will. In other words, he needs to work on adding a floater to his game. It's one of those things that you can see AB driving, but when he's met with bodies in the paint and he tries his float shot, it doesn't seem to go. Now, there's a willingness to try here, and I do appreciate that. And I do think some more time training in the NBA will get these issues corrected, but it's one of those things that he needs to add to his repertoire of weapons on offense. He's strong with the right hand, so that floater with the right hand should also improve. This may be more of a ticky-tack kind of thing, but Anthony Black is an elite defender, but at times it feels like his defense, he just needs to play a little bit stronger on defense, which is weird coming from someone who is a former football player like Anthony Black. But a little bit more strength in his game can prevent some drives and additionally create more turnovers for him in the NBA. So where's the ceiling for Anthony Black? Well, flat out, he can be an all-star. Absolutely can be an all-star and maybe even an all-NBA type player. The truth is, out of players with potential in this draft, he probably has some of the highest that's out there. He was a two-sport athlete in high school, so his time on basketball hasn't been completely focused to the sport. Now that it is, and this is his full-time job, we can anticipate that he can take his game to a whole new level now that this is being devoted to 100%. Where his floor at may end up being a high-end rotation player or a regular starter. It just kind of depends. The best comparison I can give you for Anthony Black in the league, well, it kind of looks like a combination of Luka Doncic, but the guy who would stand out the most would be Josh Giddey of the OKC Thunder. And AB has kind of even hinted at this himself. So where's Anthony Black possibly headed to in this year's NBA draft? When you look at picks 6 through 10, you can see that 4 out of the 5 teams there are all in critical need of a point guard. With AB being the number 2 point guard in this draft and Scoot Henderson probably going before him, let's rephrase that, more than likely going before him, it's likely that Anthony Black will fall somewhere to one of these teams. On different mock drafts, I've seen Anthony Black as high as 6 to the Orlando Magic and as low as 11 to also the Orlando Magic. It just kind of depends on who you ask at this point where he's going to go. At the NBA Combine, Anthony Black had meetings with teams like the Utah Jazz, the Toronto Raptors, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who currently do not have a first-round pick, and the Chicago Bulls, who also do not have a first-round pick. Additionally, he's also interviewed with the 12th pick team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Also, Anthony Black was asked about the possibility about playing for the Washington Wizards on the 8th pick, and he said, well, I think they need a guard. The majority of mock drafts out there have Anthony Black looking at going to the Washington Wizards, which would be a fun combination for Razorback fans when you consider former Razorback Daniel Gafford currently plays there. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as we continue to go down the list of the ESPN's best available, our next video will be on Nick Smith Jr. So Razorback fans especially, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel because very soon we'll have that report out for Nick Smith Jr. Can't wait to see you guys next time. And also, we do have our regular show coming out on Tuesday morning at 9:05 a.m. Thanks, guys.